my first love. Granted, she's not my great love. But she sure as hell is my last love. Doesn't that count for something?
His friends call him Tony, but the Queen of England calls him Sura. Now he's in a new movie, The Human Stain. Welcome, Tony.
Hi there. Good to be here.
So, as the consummate craftsman, a director says, be Richard Nixon, you're instantly Richard Nixon. Oliver Stone says, a Macedonian general. Do you ever stop and say, boy, I better sleep on that. That's a bit of a reach.
I did with Nixon. I slept on the idea of playing Nixon because I thought Oliver was crazy to offer me the part, but then I woke up next morning, I thought, well, here's one of the great directors of Hollywood, and I can either stay here in England doing worthy stuff for the BBC, which will never ever be seen again, or work with this crazy giant director. And so I said yes, and I'm glad I did, because it was a great experience working with him. It was tough. That was the toughest one I've ever had.
See, we thought Oliver should play Nixon. Oliver is
Nixon.
That's right.
Yeah. But you're going back to work with him again shortly.
That's right. So I've got my work cut out there, and I love working with Oliver.
You like playing bad guys? Is that kind of like a value to you?
I don't know. It's that's the way it just fell into my lap. I don't know why. Maybe people see me that way. I understand that side of human nature, I guess.
But you know, The Human Stain is a very novelistic movie.
Yeah.
But in taking on the character, this is a complex role because he is indeed a black man.
Yeah.
Who goes through much of his life
And a Jew.
as a Jewish person.
Yeah.
Now, which of those dimensions gave you the most pause? The Jewish guy or the African-American guy?
The African-American. I got a call from my agent. He said, would you like to do The Human Stain? And I said, well, what's that? And I'd actually started to read the book. And he said, Robert Benton wants you to play it. And I said, well, God. I said, what do I have to do? So I met them, Robert Benton and Tom Rosenberg. And I said, what's required? I got blue eyes. I mean, I don't look anything like an African-American. He said, we just want you to do it. I said, well, okay. So I trusted that if they had faith in me to do this, I thought, well, I'll just go along with it. I usually ask a director, why is it you want me to play this part? And I'm always curious. And I think, well, if they have the faith or the belief that I can do it, I think, well, I'll just put my 10 cents in and do it. I don't worry about it. I mean, the part of Human Stain. Now, my bête noire is political correctness, and that's what this film is about. And political correctness is destroying us, I think. And I can't stand it in my own life when I am the target of that, whatever it is.
It's a terrific movie.
You've seen it? Oh, yeah.
I have indeed. A terrific one. A very moving film. We've got a lot more we'd like to discuss with you, Tony. We'll be back in just a minute.
Next, more with Anthony Hopkins.
Back talking with Anthony Hopkins and my crazed friend Peter Guber. Now this show grew out of a book that Guber and I had the misfortune to write together. And for him and me to write something together is an exercise in restraint, believe me. But you, I am told, decided to write a script.
That's right, yeah, just recently, about 7 weeks ago. I had nothing to do and didn't know what to do really. My wife said, why don't you write a script? And I sat down on the computer. I thought, well, why not? And I just sat there, and it started to write itself. And it's, I'm very proud of it. I don't know where it came from. It's a very strange script. It's about a movie being made within a movie within a movie. And I never knew which way it was going to go. And I'd take time out, and I'd come back the next day, and I'd sit down and start, and then it would take its own journey. And about 2 weeks ago I finished it, and I thought, where did this come from? I've shown it to my agent, and he is very intrigued by it, and so I want to do it as an independent movie probably in the spring or something.
And is it true that the ever rambunctious Harvey Weinstein is a character in it?
I'm going to offer Harvey the part of the producer in it, and
he's in makeup already.
Is he? I bet he is. He's going to take it over. He's only going to be an actor in this.
Yeah, that's
what,
my friend. That's what you say.
Yeah,
he's already going to be in charge.
The words "final cut" come to mind.
Do you think an independent film can really find its space today effectively, or is it being crowded out by all these big monster films?
I think they are. The independent films are really taking off now. I don't know how general that is, but I'm doing a film with Gwyneth Paltrow, which is a small, it's not an independent film, but it's a small budget film. But the script is so powerful, it's so attractive. You think, well, let's do it. I don't have any real opinions because I don't have that sort of knowledge. I mean, I never read the trade, so. I'm really out of it. I never read
he's the kind of guy I like.
I don't know anything about the business.
He always blasts me for not doing it. I said, well, sometimes I read the competitive trade just to keep him honest.
I just feel it's part of one's education. There's even one here. I don't think.
But now he's going to self-promote.
Pollute your reading fare. It's very educational, actually.
I guess so.
And well written.
Yeah, but I know. I think the Human Stain was a smallish film. It was
yes.
And it's compact and it's well written, and sometimes those are better to do than the big blockbusters, because I've done one or two big blockbusters and they didn't work. Yeah. One of them failed so badly I thought I've sort of disowned it. I won't mention the name, but one of them was so bad. It was a big blockbuster.
We've all done ones that don't work. That's part of the process.
Sure.
It is. There is evenness that one observes, whether it's Mel Monroe or James Dean.
Sure.
Does that weigh on you from time to time?
Of self-destructiveness?
Yeah.
Well, no, it doesn't weigh on me. I don't think anything weighs on me much anymore. I've got to that stage of life where I don't worry about too much. I used to drink very heavily myself, and I just was addicted to booze, I guess. And I think it was part of that thing that you think, oh, well, if you're creative, this is your license to actually have a great life and drink yourself to death if you want to. And it looks very glamorous at the time, but and then I came out here to Hollywood many years ago, and I thought this is like putting sand in the gas tank, destroying your fuel. So I thought, well, maybe I better stop. So I stopped a long time ago.
What moved you from England to Hollywood? What was the motivation? The weather.
I came out here in '73 to make a movie with Goldie Hawn, and Hollywood is a funny way. Hollywood is a frame of mind, because actually I thought Hollywood would be a place where all the agents were standing on the doorsteps waiting to sort of grab you.
They are.
They are. Absolutely. But of course Hollywood is just a symbol in a way. But I loved coming. I always wanted to be here when I was a kid, when I was a young actor. I always wanted to come out here, and all my wishes came true in a strange and paradoxical way. I find the principle is that by actually letting go of the heat of ambition, as I've got to a certain age in my life now, letting go of that ambition and all that stuff and intensity, that it really does. The paradox is that this is the richest part of my life now. In fact, a lot of things are happening.
But the standard complaint of Brits is that Hollywood takes the best and the brightest from England, the most talented, and exploits their talent, and rather than fortify the British film industry and the British craft which produced these talents. Do you ever feel that exploitative resentment?
No, not at all. Mm-hmm. I made a choice to come out here. I was working in the theatre for years, and I found it intensely boring. I'm not made for the theatre. I find it night after night just drove me nuts. I feel in a way I'm not really an actor. I sort of fell into this business, and I had ambitions to come out here a long time ago. I never look back now. I worked in the theatre for some time. That was fine, but I couldn't do it anymore.
You once said that anger has to be converted into something else, otherwise it destroys you, eats you up. Can you still summon that anger for...
Oh, yeah. I can, a lot of it. Yeah, a lot of it, but I try not to let it live within me now, but I work on it as an actor.
When you've spent time, I know, and surreptitiously almost, teaching young people about acting, well, and they're not necessarily, this is not a professional acting school. It's a hangar in Santa Monica or something, right?
Yeah.
Why do you do that? What do you get out of it?
Well, because I had nothing better to do. I went to talk to this group of actors, and they asked me if I'd come and teach. I said, well, I'm not a teacher, but I can come and help them and guide them through a few scenes. So what I do is just get these students together and say, okay, anyone want to get up and do something? They'll do something from either Tennessee Williams or Shakespeare, whatever. And I just say, okay, just do it and show me. And I don't take them apart or criticize them. I say, okay, I think there may be an easier way to do this. I try to tell them to sort of let go of all the analysis and all the, all that stuff that's crowds into the brain. Let go of it. Just do it if you think you can do it. And they seem to have a great deal of fun doing it. And I find it very satisfying because it opens up a part of my mind as a director. I've never really directed before, but I can see very clearly what I want or what I can do for them. So that's what's satisfying to me.
What's interesting about directors, though, is that some are puppet masters,
yeah,
and some are really actors, directors.
Yeah,
I mean,
some are just plain mediocre,
and some are some are cruising.
Yeah,
there was a Dustin Hoffman the other day on the show said that there are two kinds of directors: those that like surprises and those that don't like surprises.
Yeah.
What kind of director do you think it would be of those two types?
To like surprises, and to let the actors do their thing, but have a structure and have a preparation for it, but let the actors do what they can within it if they want to improvise within the scene. But if there's a structure and a good script there, which I really believe my script is a very good script, it's well written, that if they can just take that and then move in and around that, that's the best thing, is to improvise within a structure. I don't mean to just improvise from nothing, because I don't think that works that well, but good structure.
When you look back on the films that have been offered to you, is there any one that you've turned down that you now look back and regret that you didn't see the possibility, the potential in it when you passed on it? Is there anything that you look back and say, oh, I missed that, I should have done that film?
Preferably a Goober script.
I know you're picking on me against that.
I can't think. There may have been one or two, I can't remember.
Any ones you've done that you felt?
Oh, there have been a few that I wish I hadn't.
Right.
But, oh yeah, there are a few of those. I don't know. I don't have a